People of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I know I am late to this video. I've been playing catch-up all week on the SDCC stuff, but today, let's talk about the Marvel Studios Phase 5, Phase 6 stuff. I've got quite a bit to say, some more about some things and other things. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts, what you're most hyped for down in the comments below. Of course, with all of these announcements, it's not copy and paste from the source material, so it's going to be interesting to ponder how certain movies and shows that have been announced will adapt certain characters, new and returning, and Daredevil. Can't wait to talk about that. But let's just get straight into this, guys. Go ahead and like this video if you do go on to enjoy, and of course, subscribe for more Marvel videos just like this. So first of all, let's talk about what's actually closing off Phase 4, and of course that is Black Panther Wakanda Forever, of which we now have the official teaser for. Again, I apologize that I couldn't really get a proper breakdown out for that. Overall, my reaction to this teaser is that it looks really good. I mean, whoever cut this trailer, props to them, because the way it was just crafted together really packed an emotional punch. It has some gorgeous shots in this trailer, and it just, again, it feels coated with emotion. Honestly, to the point of where, and Marvel movies in the MCU don't really often all the time do this to me these days, but this one, just from the teaser trailer, gave me chills, it gave me teary eyes, and I'm sure a lot of you probably felt the same. Especially that speech from Angela Bassett's Ramonda saying, "I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world. My entire family is gone. Have I not given everything?" Literally, even as I said that, remembering that moment in the trailer, it's like, oh man, like the chills of it. Again, that was probably the most epic part of the trailer. I mean, obviously, she seems to have taken the position of queen due to the loss of her family, her husband, of course, her son. But let's actually talk about the synopsis for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, just to give us a little bit more of an insight. So in Marvel Studios' Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Queen Ramonda, Shuri, M'Baku, Okoye, and Dora Milaje fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with the help of the war dog Nakia and Everett Ross and forge a new path for the kingdom of Wakanda. Introducing Tenoch Huerta as Namor, king of a hidden undersea nation. And that is where truly this film is getting spicy, with that of Atlantis and Wakanda, of course, of which you may already know about. So this movie is introducing Namor and the introduction of Atlantis in the MCU, of which we see at various points, you know, even Atlanteans using whales to get around, as well as the Atlanteans using masks on that of the surface when it seems like they're invading Wakanda. I don't believe Namor even needs to use this. This could be due to his lineage, so to speak. And I think I even saw out there's been some toy figures released from Hasbro teasing more looks at Namor, but again, I believe we can see him being given birth to in the trailer and various other looks. And of course, guys, we see Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa's face pop up in various parts of the trailer, such as on this mural, and possibly even T'Challa's funeral taking place, because we see Shuri's face in this shot that you're seeing on screen. We see other people dressed in white, somewhat, it seems as though doing this dance, celebrating his life, all in that white clothing. The thing is, we don't quite yet know how they're going to address T'Challa's passing in the film. And among various other clips montaged together in this teaser, one of the bigger talking points is, of course, just who is in that Black Panther suit at the end when, you know, the claws come out. Now, a lot of people are thinking, you know, similar to that of the source material, will it be Shuri? A lot of people are thinking maybe that's a bit too predictable, but maybe she will prove herself in the upcoming war against Namor and Atlantis. At the end of the day, a big portion of this film, whilst we have Namor in it and everything going on that side, will, of course, be about the mantle needing to be passed on to someone else. So let me know who you think that will ultimately be. I'm thinking it probably is Shuri, but you never know. Wakanda Forever will also be introducing Riri Williams, who is getting her own series on Disney+, which is called Ironheart, of whom we see featured in the trailer, meeting Shuri, I believe. There's even this one moment where she's like forging something, knocking down the hammer, so to speak, in a Tony Stark-esque way, on this outline of none other than a heart. But overall, just to get into all of the other things we need to talk about in this video, I think that this trailer truly looks really decent, and despite the difficulties of production, if you will, with this movie, it looks like they're really, really pulling it out the bag. I know this is like a teaser, and it was, a really good teaser, but it looks like not only will it pluck a heartstring, of course, with that of Chadwick Boseman's memory, but also just packing an emotional punch of a movie with everything else that was just overlaid in this trailer. So let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. I was actually quite taken back with this teaser, if I'm being honest, and I'm pretty sure the consensus of everyone is mostly the same with that. But now with Wakanda Forever closing off Phase 4, which, Phase 4 was, but like Phase 5 and Phase 6 definitely look super interesting, to the point of where at San Diego Comic-Con, especially compared to that of Warner Brothers, it's like we've got almost too many Marvel announcements thrown at us. But we're starting off with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and that is due to be released February 17th, 2023. A lot of these dates, obviously, that was on that little slate, if you will, probably are subject to change. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of delays here and there throughout the next couple of years. We have this poster here featuring Jonathan Majors Kang in the background there, and he did tease at San Diego Comic-Con that there will be conquering. And Kang, especially given how Loki ended, that is going to be, I think this will be the most important Ant-Man film so far, and just truly serving somewhat the stepping stones for Kang in this multiverse saga. It's going to be quite fundamental, obviously, to that, setting up the next Avengers movies eventually. We have Cassie Lang on the poster, I believe, featured in her own suit as well. I believe we've had it teased that MODOK is a villain for the movie, of whom you may know as Darren Cross, of whom has probably been recruited by Kang himself, after, of course, being trapped in the quantum realm. Now, there has been a trailer leak, which is being basically copyright striked down everywhere. Some very brief, non-spoilery details are just, Kang's narration, a little peek at Kang's suit. I'm not going to explain what it looks like for those who do not want to know anything about it. If you want me to go over more specific details and maybe some theory crafting with regards to the leaks of this trailer, the peek at Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot, do let me know down in the comments. But at the end of the day, with this first movie kicking off Phase 5, I can't imagine things are going to go bad for Kang, as this is just merely, as I said earlier, paving the first stepping stones for his conquering in the MCU, with that of Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars to top that all off. I mean, technically there's lots of Kangs that could pop up as well, so let me know what you're most hyped for with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. But up next in spring, we have Marvel's Secret Invasion coming to Disney+, which will feature a little bit of a Skrull invasion, if you will. And then May 5th, 2023, we of course have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And again, a little bit of a leaked look at that, so go searching for it if you want to, kind of thing. James Gunn did say himself that I think it's been really about telling one story between the three films with a couple of sideways adventures. But I think it really is about the one story. This is the final arc that we begin at the very beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy, with Peter Quill, with Rocket, seeing where Nebula goes, and even Kraglin, who started out as saying one or two lines in the first movie, and is now a main Guardian of the Galaxy. So yeah, this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Not that we won't necessarily see these characters pop up in other future MCU projects. James Gunn also confirmed at San Diego Comic-Con that the villain will be High Evolutionary, played by Chikudi Iwuji, and he appeared at San Diego Comic-Con in full costume, as you're seeing on screen right now. He was absolutely fantastic in Peacemaker, so I'm personally really looking forward to seeing his role as High Evolutionary in Guardians 3. Chris Pratt also talked about how Star-Lord is still reeling from the events of Endgame with regards to, considering the love of his life, Gamora doesn't know who he is anymore. There's going to be a bit of friction there because she really just doesn't have that personal connection to him, but it's going to be very hard for him to kind of not see this version of Gamora in the same way, if you will. Also, looking forward to this. One of my most anticipated things, believe it or not, is that we're going to see Rocket's beginning, the film exploring his early days. And apparently, if we thought that Baby Groot was cute, just wait until you see Baby Rocket. So that's going to be adorable. James Gunn says that his existence is one of the saddest in the galaxy. So yeah, seeing the origins probably of a very cute Baby Rocket going into obviously a talking Rocket is going to be one that audiences, I'm sure, are going to be dying to see, and probably a lot of merch coming off of that one as well. Kind of worried that Rocket might go out in this movie, which would be really sad, but does anyone else have that prediction? But then up next, we have the new Disney Plus series, of which we've heard about for quite a while now, Echo, and as we know, this will indeed continue on from the events of Hawkeye. If you remember, Echo literally put a gun up to Wilson Fisk's Kingpin face, and yeah, we all know that he's going to survive, because we do know that Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk is returning, as well as Matt Murdock's Daredevil. A thank you, please, 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 MCU, don't butcher this, please. Because for me, you know, no matter what the MCU does, Disney, if you will, to Charlie Cox's Daredevil, it's kind of a Kenobi situation for me. Whilst I don't think the writing of that series was that great at all, it was still incredible for me to experience Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen come back to Star Wars. So it's a similar feeling with Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. And especially as we see in the latest She-Hulk trailer, we get a little glimpse of him, and where we can actually notice some of the low-key yellow aspects in his Daredevil armor in this new MCU version. But of course, that isn't the only news we get of Daredevil, and we'll be talking about that other thing in just a minute. Now, Loki Season 2 will be coming, apparently, summer 2023, and of course, that brought Kang into this whole thing in the first place. So, with this new multiverse saga, so to speak, and AntMan and the Wasp Quantumania, featuring Kang as well, Loki Season 2 will be continuing off of the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, of course, but probably with a notch or two up with whatever happens during the events of Quantumania. He's most certainly going to be, as I said, a notch or two up, but elevated to a very, very serious threat. I think truly Quantumania is just going to maybe end in such a way that, you know, they're not going to be truly successful, and if anything, they've just poked the dragon or the wolf's den or the bear. I'm forgetting the saying, but he's going to come down in full reckoning force, and Loki Season 2 will, of course, be carrying on that journey, trying to juggle everything in this new anarchic multiverse. Then, supposedly, July 28th, we're getting the Marvels continuing on from Miss Marvel. There's not really too much information on this. And then, a very anticipated movie of Phase 5 is coming November 3rd, 2023, and that is none other than Marvel Studios' Blade, which, again, unfortunately, we don't know too much about, but it's kind of nuts. You know, Blade has been spoken about for a long time now, and we don't really know much more about it this year round, but again, it's just nice to see the logo up there on the Phase 5 slate. But then, ladies and gentlemen, fall 2023, connecting back to Wakanda Forever. As I said, they're introducing Riri Williams, and this is another Disney Plus show, Ironheart. Not so much information here, but we're going to find out a lot about her at the end of Phase 4. Then, winter 2023, but it also says 24, so again, like, not all of these dates are solidified in stone. But all of you Agatha Harkness fans out of WandaVision, we will be getting Agatha Coven of Chaos, which is a bit of a title change from the original title, House of Harkness, now being Coven of Chaos. I don't know if she's going to go on a freaking quest given that title to learn more about chaos magic. I don't know. She was pretty obsessed with Wanda's chaos magic, so yeah, again, another one that we don't really know too much about right now. But then, guys, probably my most anticipated project of what is coming in the next few years, and that is spring 2024's Daredevil Born Again. I don't know if you know this about me, but I've always kind of had a thing for more of the street-level, vigilante-esque types, and Daredevil, when I was a kid, I had a comic book subscription, which I had to go to the store and pick up, and man, Daredevil is probably my favorite Marvel character outside the more kind of cosmic-y powered ones like Doctor Strange. But anyway, guys, Daredevil Born Again is going to be 18 episodes long on Disney Plus. I don't know, Kang, or I don't know, but thank goodness, because that's the thing about, you know, Disney Plus series so far. Whether you love them or find them mid to whatever, they're 6 episodes long. And sure, I've enjoyed the Disney Plus series here and there, but they always don't get enough character development. Usually in the finale, they don't have a great execution because of, you know, sometimes when we're on episode 4 or 5, you're thinking, how are they just going to close this and slam dunk it in the final episode? And they quite often don't. So now that Daredevil Born Again is going to be 18 episodes long, that is music to my ears. They're going to be getting a lot more time for character development, a lot more time to flesh out the plot organically, grow it out to a point of where they can execute the finale of season 1 really, really well, hopefully. But what is the rating going to be? That's very intriguing because, you know, Daredevil Born Again does insinuate that it is after Frank Miller's Born Again story, which was a 1986 Daredevil story. Now, the thing is, Daredevil Season 3 adapted certain aspects and elements from Born Again, of course. I'm sure many of you are aware of that. However, of course, this could, again, not copy and paste, as I always say, it's an adaptation, borrow certain other aspects. But in of itself, Born Again is kind of a nice title because Daredevil quite literally has been born again, brought into the MCU from that of Netflix. He's back. So I do like the title, even outside of Frank Miller's Born Again story, symbolizing that Daredevil has come back through that of Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock. But yeah, going back to the rating, Born Again is like a very dark, mature story. So depending on what it adapts, if it even adapts, you know, beyond it maybe just being a title, I am praying for an TV MA rating for obviously mature audiences. You know, they are dabbling in that a little bit more now. But again, I can't help but be very skeptical about that because we have Daredevil appearing in She-Hulk. They might want to kind of widen the audience to that of the larger MCU audience. You know, when things get TVMA, sometimes parents, you know, a lot of parents, fair enough, are like, well, I'm not letting my kids see this. But then again, Daredevil only insanely benefits from that, especially with Born Again. You know, the Karen Page stuff is very dark, and I don't think they would actually adapt that anyway, even if it was TVMA. I'm hoping for returning characters like Karen Page, obviously Foggy, the same actors, of course. That would be I don't see how they can't approach those actors to come back. And we can't forget as well, with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin and Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock appearing in the Echo series, I'm sure we're going to get some story set up there for when we get the Daredevil Born Again Disney Plus series. Unfortunately, we don't have too much more information than that, but I do like how they are. You know, it's fascinating to me. Once upon a time, it was like, oh, is Charlie Cox coming back? And he always gave a little smile. We don't really know. And now, not only is he appearing in Echo, She-Hulk, he's getting 18 episodes in his own Disney Plus series. So again, other than just being apprehensive because of, you know, say what you will about Disney Plus shows, but I've been here and there about them, I'm happy in the Kenobi sense, as I mentioned, that we're getting Daredevil. I'll always be biased to Daredevil, so as long as they don't absolutely shite on it, I'm going to be happy, I think. Then up next, we finally have Sam Wilson getting his own Captain America movie called Captain America New World Order. This is apparently coming May 3rd. This story could get into a whole range of things with regards to New World Order. Could be bringing back aspects of Hydra. They seem to never be snuffed out truly. It could be a weird situation there, but let me know any ideas you have. And then lastly, for Phase 5, we have the announcement of the Thunderbolts, slated for July 28th, 2024. Obviously, with regards to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with Val's introduction, she was recruiting certain members, and of course, we have US Agent, so I'm really hoping for US Agent to come back. I think he was by far the standout of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It seemed as though him and his wife were pretty happy with the next opportunity that he got from Val at the end of the series. So honestly, seeing Wyatt Russell's John Walker would be a massive tick in my book. Also, it just seems that we will be getting him back given the Thunderbolt setup. But let me know what you're most anticipated about for Phase 5. What are you most hyped for? Is it Daredevil Born Again? Are you looking forward to Thunderbolts? Let me know with regards to that. But also, you may be wondering about Armor Wars. There wasn't anything announced with regards to that. Who knows? You know, with regards to D23, we could be getting a shite ton more. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's been cancelled just because they didn't splurge it out with everything else they announced at San Diego Comic-Con. But let's now move on to the good old Phase 6. Now, Marvel's Phase 6 will be kicking off with the Fantastic Four movie, supposedly coming November 8th, 2024, of which Kevin Feige has said already that it might not be an origin story. So he said a lot of people know this origin. A lot of people know the basics. So how do we take that and bring something that they've never seen before? We've set a very high bar for ourselves with bringing that to the screen. Now, from what I've gathered through social media, this is getting mixed responses from fans because there's certain characters in the the Fantastic Four, of which when you don't somewhat visit the origin of them, it doesn't so much help you connect to their lives beforehand from where they're at if you just kind of pick up with them. But on the other side, I do get it. It's somewhat of like a, you know, Spider-Man Homecoming situation. Do we really need to see the origin, the Uncle Ben thing? You know, we've seen Fantastic Four before, so you can kind of just jump to where they're at a certain point in time. Probably not too far in, but just kind of skipping over some aspects. Maybe a weird analogy here, but kind of what Matt Reeves said about the Batman. A similar thing here. You pick up in Batman Year 2, it's not a Batman movie that's an origin yet, it's a Batman who's still becoming and referring to his origins. So I do kind of dig that. Personally, I'm sure it will refer to the Fantastic Four origins whilst they're still, you know, taking their superhero careers, if you will, in their stride. But again, let me know what you think about Kevin Feige's quote with regards to Fantastic Four. And then lastly, a couple of announcements, and these are by far going to be the big ass-whopping events of the multiverse saga, and that is May 2nd. We're getting Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. This will potentially even see Kang coming to Earth in full-on conquer mode after the many things by this point we would have seen set this event up. But imagine all of the new characters we could have introduced in the MCU by this point, helping out in this new Avengers movie. But then to top it all off, we have Avengers Secret Wars, which could be an absolutely huge event, again, coming November 7th, 2025. Now, the thing about Avengers Secret Wars is that it could possibly close off the multiverse saga in an absolutely huge, unprecedented way. Like, I know, for example, Endgame was pretty unprecedented where you had all these characters coming in. It had been all building up until that moment, but it's a similar thing here. Like, this is not until 2025, and with a similar thing to what I teased with new characters being in the roster, so to speak, and teaming up with the Kang's Dynasty movie. Given that Secret Wars usually consists of that of different multiversal characters, you could have a whole big roster of various characters from different aspects of the multiverse, if you will, popping in the Avengers Secret Wars movie. Like, again, you think maybe Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man to Tobey Maguire was insane coming back. Imagine a whole movie, you know, closing off the multiverse saga in phase 6, going mega ham with who could really kind of blow various MCU fans' minds with their, I wouldn't even say they will be cameos, like, or maybe there's going to be ton. Let me know your ideas for who could appear in Secret Wars. It's a while away yet, I know, but I wouldn't be surprised if by the time we skip forward, you know, so to speak, to 2025, what Marvel pulls out the bag. So, people of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a lot of information we just sifted through. Sorry if I spoke about some things more than other things, but, you know, there was a lot to try and cover in one video. I wanted to try and dish it out all in one video. So now what's left is me to leave the floor to you. What do you think about everything that's been announced for Phase 5, Phase 6? Do you have any theories with regards to anything we spoke about, from Wakanda Forever, with Namor, the Atlanteans, what could be happening there, who is taking up the mantle, Daredevil Born Again? Do you have any ideas for Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? There's a lot to talk about. Again, almost too much to talk about, and this isn't even taking into account what they could also reveal at D23. So I'm going to be looking forward to reading your comments down in the comments below. I read every single comment, so definitely leave one. I would also appreciate a like on this video if you did enjoy it. Do subscribe as well for future Marvel coverage and a bunch of other coverage on the channel. Check out my links down in the description below for Twitter and everything like that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you people of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the next video. Goodbye.